Thank you very much for staying with us now. South Africa has an incredibly rich biodiversity, third only after Brazil and Indonesia, and is the only country to contain an entire floral kingdom which provides a wide range of products and services for both commercial and subsistence purposes within its borders. Nature provides water, food, fibre and all that sustains life. The value is inestimable. Now, joining me in studio to talk about biodiversity education and this year's theme of mainstreaming is Mr. Mathaba, who's Senior Environmental Education Officer at SABC. So good morning, thank you very much for joining me.
Good morning, Sam. Thank you very much for having us.
So we're in the middle of an environmental month. I mean, we just came out of International Biodiversity Day, which was last week. Tomorrow is World Environmental Day. Then we follow with World Oceans Day. But there still seems to be a lack of awareness around biodiversity and issues related to some of the things I've mentioned in our intro.
Sam, there's still quite a lot that still needs to be done about mainstreaming and teaching people about biodiversity. It's still quite fairly a new term that a lot of people don't know, but we're very happy because it's very much in the school curriculum, and institutions like my institution, SABC, does a lot of awareness programs through our botanical gardens in the country to try and make people aware about biodiversity, how it sustains life, and trying to mainstream it into our daily life. Of course, we also use these awareness programs like tomorrow's World Environmental Day to try and make people aware and teach people, not only school learners, even the community and adults, because not a lot of people, as you say, know very much about biodiversity.
Quickly, you mentioned the word there, it was quite interesting, mainstreaming into our daily lives. What does that mean? Well,
that simply means that people need to, try to live a sustainable life for biodiversity. Now, if you look at the school curriculum, for example, one needs to try and get issues of biodiversity. How do we sustain it? How do we deal with environmental degradation into the curriculum so that the learners can we try teaching them when they are still young. So mainstreaming simply means something of that nature. Also, trying to get a lot of the young people, being Youth Month, to try and look into biodiversity careers, taking those kind of careers, because we have quite a big shortage of those professionals who will start looking after the environment and not only doing the usual careers that we are very used to.
So you're the Senior Environmental Education Officer. Part of your job is educating. You run a program that brings young people into the real-life garden environment.
Yes. SABC has about 10 botanical gardens, and we run biodiversity education programs. We bring school learners into our botanical gardens, and we do curriculum-linked programs, but of course programs that will deal with the holistic aspects of biodiversity or environment, touching into social issues, economic issues, of course the natural science part. But we don't only teach the learners in the botanical gardens, we also go into the community and do different kind of programs that will get people to really know more, not only about SABC, but about biodiversity. And we work with partners to do that. So that's mainly what we do. Again, as I said, this new concept, biodiversity, trying to get them to know it more and more.
What are some of those social impacts you're talking about?
Sam, if you look at if you walk in our townships, if you walk in our cities, you look at the amount of litter, you look at the amount of waste, you look at the pollution that is there. Number of people wouldn't know what is the impact of that if we don't teach them about that. If little ones don't know that it's wrong to go and put litter into a river because it will have an effect into the water bodies. Yeah. If we don't do that, then you get those kind of social impacts. Again, we have quite a number of people who are unemployed. So if we start those kind of programs, then that will deal with waste management and those kind of things. That's how you would try to get people to deal with these social impacts around biodiversity and the environment.
Okay, we've run out of time. That's Mr. Mathaba, who's the Senior Environmental Education Officer at SABC, talking to us about biodiversity. They are basically the Pretoria National Botanical Garden. Of course, you can also Google to find out more details. That's where we leave it. Let's go to